Okay, guys, welcome to the Vitality Handbook. My name is Yao A. Owusu Jr., your resident Vitality consultant. I have Nicholas Lopez Jr. and Andre Bibbins Jr. We are the Vitality Handbook. Now, today we have a very special episode. This is episode number 2, nutrition. We're going to focus on sports nutrition simplified. Again, sports nutrition simplified. It is a thing. It is a multi-billion-dollar business, and it's growing every single year, so you have to pay attention to it. What are we talking about? We're talking about simplifying actually sports nutrition. It's a very complex idea, but we're going to break it down for you. I'm going to start it off. Let's focus on what sports nutrition is. It's not just playing sports. It's not just if you're an athlete. It's anybody that wants to be a high performer. If you're exercising, you want to be good at exercising. If you're boxing, you want to be good at boxing. If you're taking a hike, you want to be good at hiking. So how can we enhance that and make your experience the best experience that you've had ever? Now, we're going to start with Nicholas Lopez Jr. Tell the audience how we can actually simplify nutrition and make it easy for them.
To the audience, when it comes to sports nutrition, just understand, like Yao said, it's not just if you're an athlete, it's not just if you're playing sports. If you want to be a high performer, so that means if you want to have high energy, right? High energy is part of being a high performer. Yep. If you want to change how your body, control how your body looks, that's part of body composition. You have athletes who have to go up in weight or maybe drop weight depending on their sport. So that is an element of sports nutrition if you're trying to change your body composition. So I would just say, make sure you realize that sports nutrition actually applies to you. I want to redirect with a question. I don't like answering with questions though, but I think the best way for me to connect with the audience is for them to kick it with our conversation. Okay. And the question I want to ask you is, what happens if someone thinks that sports nutrition doesn't apply to them?
I mean, that's very simple. That's a great question. Sports nutrition applies to everybody because everyone is an athlete, right? So you want to think about, you either have a low athletic prowess, a mid athletic prowess, and prowess just means how well you can kind of connect to yourself, be aware, and then up that, right? Or a high athletic prowess. So everyone's an athlete. You can be a complete athlete, an outer athlete, or inner athlete. I know you've heard this term before, and if you haven't, an inner athlete is someone that's deconditioned. So just say if you're out of shape or you haven't worked out in a while, and you're like, man, I'm sluggish, I have low energy, you would be put into the inner athlete category, meaning inside you want to be, but it's not showing in your performance. You have the outer athlete, someone that looks like they have lots of muscle, looks like they're in good shape, but they're broken down. They have low energy. They need to reach for that coffee. They don't have energy throughout the day. They crash. That's someone that looks like they're in good shape, but they don't really produce a great outcome. And a complete athlete would be you, and me. Someone that looks like an athlete, someone that actually has high energy without having drugs to keep them on that high, and actually are producing a lot of good outcomes, meaning their body composition, number one, looks good. Your aesthetics, your performance and recovery, meaning you can go for a long day of work. Today was a long day of shooting for us. This is actually our second rendition that you guys are seeing. We still look good, but we're out with our output. We still have great output. And then also you want to talk about your cellular nutrition, right? So these are things that everyone can think about. Everyone has cells. Everyone has a gut. How well is your gut, right? Is it healthy? Do you feel like you go to the bathroom at least once a day, right? Are you eliminating, right? How does your poop look? We're going to talk about that too, right? All right, if it's green, if it's orange, you guys, you're not high performers. You have to understand that we want to make sure that your elimination is good. What are you eliminating? So I would say that's the main thing. Everyone has to focus on those three things, right? But let's say those are the 3 pillars for success for being a high performer. Your body composition. I know out there people like, oh, I'm going to love the way I am. It really doesn't matter how I look. Really? If you're being honest with yourself, really, what are we doing this for? Why is the nutrition industry, especially sports nutrition industry, billions of dollars? Why are all these pharmaceutical companies and these Coca-Cola, all these people, Coke Zero, all these things, low sugar, all that type of stuff, they're doing it because you want to either lose weight, gain muscle, or maintain high levels of energy. So those are the 3 things you have to worry about. So where are you? Put yourself into a category, right? Are you someone that wants to look good? Are you someone that just wants to have high energy throughout the day? Or are you someone that has autoimmune issues, right? Crohn's disease, ulceritis, all these things that are going to bother the normal person like you. You want all 3 of those things. So if someone says, I don't really need to focus on sports nutrition, We are all athletes. It all depends on what level of athleticism you hold. I want to get Dre's perspective on sports nutrition simplified, right? So when we're talking about sports nutrition simplified, make it easy for them. We can make it very complex, but I know you're very good at making something very simplistic, right? And that's how you approach yourself as a master coach here. So tell the audience about being a high performer and how nutrition can actually increase that.
I would say the best advice that you get someone to make, like you said, make it simple, is find out what your goal is, right? Do you want to have muscle mass? Do you want to be leaner? Do you want to look like Nick? Do you want to look like me? Do you want to look like Yao, right? Or do you want a mixture?
Yes.
Right? So first find out what your goal is, what you're, I want to say training for, or what sport you're in, or something like that. So basically find out what your goal is, and then you go from there. And then you would know what the amount of carbohydrates, the amount of sugars, the amount of fats, the amount of protein, those, to...
Awesome. So what he's talking about here, again, sugars, which is going to be carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, those are macronutrients for all our nerds out there. Macronutrients is like your gasoline. So if I'm a car, I want to be a high-performance car. I like the Tesla, right? So we can't use gasoline. Let's just say a Porsche, right? We're still using gasoline here. I want to put the best fuel. That's what proteins, fats, and carbs are. And we're talking about the oil that goes into the engine. Tesla still have to use oil, right? Okay. So the oil that goes into the engine, no, they don't. I love Tesla. Come on. Talk to your boy. So the oil that goes into the engine, that's the micronutrients. So we're talking about the vitamins, the minerals, okay? Those are the things that are going to give us a good, healthy gut, right? We'll talk to that a little bit later when we go into our rapid fire, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we're giving you an overview of what we believe sports nutrition is, right? You're talking about making sure we know the proteins, the fats, the carbohydrates, your goals. Make sure you have your goal first. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to actually achieve that, right? And then Nick is talking about an overview of saying, how can we simplify that if we don't think sports nutrition applies to us? We told you that everyone is an athlete. Okay, so let's break this down even further. If we know that we need proteins, carbs, and fats, if we know that everyone is an athlete and everyone has to be applied to sports nutrition, and it's simplified, let's break down why do people need to understand that they need this fuel? Why do they need proteins? Why do they need carbs? Why do they need fats? How does that play a role on us performing? How does it play a role on you having those biceps that you have over there, those pythons that's your sport? I'm just like compliments.
No, Yao is just fucking crazy host. All right, so Yao, on that note, going back from where we initially covered on just making sure you know sports nutrition applies to you.
Right.
It's also saying make sure that you realize nutrition has to be individualized to you. And when it comes to what's the importance of proteins, carbs, and fats, is that there is a certain amount of those that actually apply to you. And that's more, I wouldn't say more important, but that actually is just as important as the industry or society makes calories to be. So it's less about, it's not like, okay, I'm gonna go on a 3,000 calorie diet. Or some people may say out there, your clients may say, you know what, I'm on a 1,000 calorie diet. So that versus if a client comes at you and says that, or somebody comes to you and says, I'm on a 1,000 calorie diet, versus someone saying, yeah, I'm having this amount of carbs on my plate, this amount of fats on my plate, this amount of protein on my plate, that actually may yield more results. Like a ratio, right? So the importance of it is really that it allows you to, well, my take on it is that the importance of carbs, proteins, and fats, and knowing the ratio that applies to you based on your body type, which Yao will get into. The importance of that is that it actually lets you make the changes that Dre mentioned, accomplish your goal without losing energy. I think that's where a lot of people fall off, is that if you have something that's not matched to you, you're either gonna get way too much energy and gain and go too far from your goal. If that's like burning fat, if something's off, you're not gonna get to your goal. But I think it really has to do with, let's just say we're talking about burning fat. If you just go on a low calorie diet, it's gonna be extremely hard. Your energy is gonna drop. And I think that's the biggest benefit of having the proper ratios, is that you can steadily get your body get leaner week by week, steady progress, no plateaus, and maintain the energy to keep your activity up. Right? So I think that's the biggest benefit of understanding that aspect of sports nutrition, which somebody would say, well, sports nutrition doesn't apply to me, so I don't have to worry about macronutrients.
Right.
But in reality, that's actually what you should be paying attention to, instead of just thinking, I'm going to go for 1,000 calories a day.
Right. So I love what Nick said. When we talk about macronutrients, again, macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, we need that as fuel. And like you said, you have to make sure that specific ratio to you. Now, there's tons of different ratios out there. What we promote is through precision nutrition, right? So they're the most researched, backed sports nutrition, okay? The essentials of sports nutrition, not just nutrition, but sports nutrition, meaning you want to be a high performer. And that's all it is, right? So when we say sports nutrition, you can just insert, I want to be a high performer. And I don't know anybody that starts exercising and saying, I want to be a low performer. Everyone really wants to perform at a high level. No one goes to work and says, I want to be a low performer. I think I'm going to get a raise because I'm a low performer. Or no one's going to raise their kids and be like, I'll be a low performer when I'm raising my kids. You guys know what I'm talking about. So we want to think of, I want to perform very high, so I need sports nutrition. That's what, simplified terms, that's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so Nick kind of went on his role of talking about how a ratio needs to be proportionate, individualized for that person.
So that's the goal.
That's the goal.
So it's perfect.
Okay, I like that. So that applies to what you were saying. Yeah. We're talking about what is your goal, right? Okay, so Drake, give us a little tidbit of, let's talk about an experience. Have you ever performed a sport or excelled at a sport and you applied nutrition? Did it help you excel at a sport?
Absolutely. So competing, never competed in bodybuilding, but did bodybuilding workout for years, but I competed in the powerlifting. And one thing,
Don't you hold it?
yeah, I hold the record, 585. It's still up there. I checked again. I had to double check. It's still, yeah, New York State record. Yeah, drug-free.
Drug.
You gotta say that. Drug-free. Drug-free. Drug-free.
So tell us how you did that drug-free. That's what I want.
So we talk about nutrition. So obviously supplements is going to play a role, right? So fish oil, number one.
There we go.
Fish oil, number one. Like that was number one. Of course, you could throw in a little multivitamin was like here and there. Like I think I need a little bit multivitamin. My energy's a little bit low. Fish oil, Juice Plus. Definitely.
What did you say, Jordan?
Yeah. So here we go. So fish oil, Juice Plus, magnesium, right? For our sleep. Like we talk about the sleep episode, magnesium, the zinc. Check it out. I'm trying to think what else am I using. So that.
Give me the secrets right now.
Yeah, I'm getting
Should
for
be
real.
writing it down.
For real.
Should be writing it down.
This is secrets. Yeah, it really is. Because the magnesium and the zinc actually helped me recover, and literally I was ready to go the next day to tackle 16 weeks of training, hardcore, like 16 weeks of training. You know what I mean? Like people don't like add that up. 16 weeks of training, the prepping for one damn day.
And you accomplished your goal.
And I accomplished your goal. Right? So with the powerlifting, I didn't, right? We talk about the supplements. I might be going off here, but that's
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so what happened with the fish oil, I was able to perform at a high level consistently. Obviously, it's food, but I was able to stay healthy, do back squats, do deadlifts, do block pulls, all that heavy weight. We're talking about 1 to 5 reps maybe. That's at a 70% to 100% max.
How much weight? I want to know.
Squatting before competition, I would work with on a consistent basis. I wait to the last 2 weeks of training before I max out, but consistent basis, 400 plus area. Play around with the 400 plus area. And that's just, deadlifts would be definitely high force. Squats would be low, high 380 to low 400.
So around 400.
Yeah, 400. Yeah, constantly. Yeah.
While training clients.
Yeah, while training clients. Yeah.
Now, literally on the break. I like why Nick said this, because that's very important. It's one. He's not just a professional bodybuilder. He's a professional coach. So he has a full day of training people like yourself, making them better, having them reach their goals. Then he's doing that. The only way, if you're going to maintain not the only way, you can do drugs, but we're talking about sports nutrition. The only way you're going to do it drug-free is if you have supplementation. That's where I want to go next. That's also at least a multi-million dollars. I mean, Nick can pump the numbers there, but at least a multi-million dollars and going up of the
Billions.
industry.
Billions.
Yeah, let's go billions of dollars, right? And there's a reason for that. That means there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
That means there's some good stuff out there. And that's where I want to go right now. Okay? So we talk about supplementation. We understand if you want to be a high performer and maintain that high performance, here's where supplementation comes in. Now, when you're finding out what works for you, and we deem this eating right for your body type, we have what we call the nutritional formula. And in that, you have to assess yourself. You have to assess and see what your body type is. You have to assess and see what your gut health is. And we have to assess and see what your energy level is. And once we assess that, then we apply a program. And that program, if you're going to be a high performer, has to have supplementation to reach your goal. Supplementation is not the boogeyman. It's nothing wrong with it. You're not taking drugs. Like he said, it's food. Now, he used fish oils. It could be anything that's going to give you what we call omegas. So omegas could be fish oils, could be plant-based, but you have to have your omega-3s, your omega-6s, and omega-9s. I won't go into too much science, but that just means you have different levels of fat, right, that is going to help you in different parts of your body. So they're really for joint health, right? That's what fish oils. I use green lipid muscle oils, Omega XL. I pub them because I represent that. Also with Juice Plus, like he said, Nick was going crazy when I heard Juice Plus. Listen, I'm crazy about it because you're talking about 30 different fruits and vegetables. I know he's laughing over there. That's actually going to help your gut, right?
Keep your thought. So it's perfect, right? So the fish oil, like he said, he summed it up. I stood healthy. So when I said it, I stayed healthy from taking the fish oil. The poundage for 16 weeks. The Juice Plus, the gut health, right? I don't want to feel like crap after I'm eating and have to go and squat and my stomach is bloated, cramped up. You know, so but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I mean, you just added on what I was going to say. So working on your gut health, and that's what Juice Plus is there for. Now, again, you don't have to take Juice Plus. This is just the most scientifically researched product in the world. So you make up your mind of what you want to do. Also, Thorne has a great, I don't know, Nick will get into that supplementation. So Thorne, Juice Plus, and Omega XO, the things that so we're giving you the secrets of what we use, right? So we're not saying you have to do what we do. We just like to get the best out there, and I know you guys like to too. So let's go to supplementation. Tell us what your stack is. A stack just means a list of all of his supplements that helps him be a high performer and optimizes his vitality. Don't give him everything. Go to our website. And then when our digital product comes out, eating right for your body type, we'll give you all the secrets now. But just give us a little bit of your stack that you're using to help you be a high performer. Supplementation.
Yeah, I was going to say when it comes to sports nutrition, the biggest thing I need to manage is my energy. Okay. That's the biggest thing I'm concerned of. I want to know that I don't have to worry about my energy being low because I don't do it. I don't drink coffee for energy. I don't do any other stimulants. I actually have a sensitivity to stimulants, so I have to think about solving for energy and staying high energy to keep a certain level of focus. So number one, just having a nutrition protocol or program gives you a certain amount of focus and energy throughout the day versus just kind of navigating, I'm going to eat whenever I have time to.
Right. So for supplement's sake.
Tell
us what your routine is for supplements that's going to help you be a high performer.
Let's give us a morning time. The morning time.
Yeah,
the morning time.
Just the morning.
The morning time?
Because you can't take stimulants, right?
Yeah.
So you need those things to keep your energy level high.
Okay, so the morning time will be it's not a supplement, but it's my stack. It's going to be my smoothie with ginger in there for that zing. And then on top of that, I have my Juice Plus. So so in my mind, I'm like, all right, I need to boost my system with as many micronutrients as possible. So I'm gonna have my smoothie because that's just I like the taste of it. So it gives me that's my kind of morning drink.
It's more than just a taste.
Plus, obviously it's more than just a tast, but we're talking about supplements.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I don't want to go too much. Just for the supplement aspect, it's okay. Smoothie plus all 4 Juice Plus supplements. So I got my omegas, my red, my green, my purple. Yeah, we'll go more into detail about that. But for me, I'm like, okay, micronutrients is gonna give me sustained energy, And then recently, I've been experimenting with cognitive supplements from Thorne. What encouraged me to start experimenting with that or bringing more awareness to it was when we got some samples from a supplement company that gave us a product focused on focus. So they claim that it enhances your focus. So I wanted to see.
And you use that in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning, because that's when, like my morning routine is super important. Like my morning goes well, execute what I need to do. Like there's a certain routine, you got to stretch. Right. Some things I learned the hard way. Like there's certain things you got to do in the morning. That routine is important. So I want to make sure that focus starts in the beginning. Like that. So some of the, so that's I'm still experimenting with that cognitive stack. Okay. I want to go through full 30 days before I make an official statement. See the ups and downs of the month and see before I come out with something more official. But just a heads up, I don't know if you've ever tried cognitive supplements or we think about cognitive supplements. Is that even possible? So it's like it interests me. It makes me curious because they're saying this can help you focus. But what does that actually mean, though?
So I like that. So we're gonna go to Dre. So you're having the focus, your Juice Plus in the morning. You're having your smoothie, which is gonna be your nutrition, but the supplement aspect will be the Juice Plus in the morning, right? With the new cognitive stack. Do you want to say the name? You want to say the name of it?
I mean, it comes from Thorne. I'm making my own blend.
Thorne. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thorne. All right. So Dre.
So it spoke about cognitive. So I would say yes.
You want to do your morning routine, night routine?
Oh, okay. So morning routine. So it's all that. Okay. It's everything. So basically, what I'm off and on with like proteins and stuff like that, right? So lately, I haven't been taking protein shakes like that. Only like when I really need it. If I don't have anything to eat. So I've been winging off that. So in the morning, what I'll do is the L-carnitine. I call it brain food, right? I'll just call it the brain food.
Neurological support. That's what I wanted to mention. It is neurological support.
Also to the fish oil, same thing. Memory, focus, all those things, right? I do that. The L-arginine in the morning, definitely take that for blood flow. That helps. Also too, it's not caffeinated, so you're not gonna feel hype, but you actually gonna be like, damn, I'm moving. I got some pep in my step, right? So I will go with that, and I think that's what I've been sticking to in the morning time consistently. I'm off and on. Oh, Juice Plus. I'm sorry. Juice Plus in the morning. Hey, no, it's a fact though. It's a fact though. Juice Plus in the morning. I take that in the morning. Drink my 32 ounces of water with that. Once I'm done training my clients in the morning time, everything is out. I'm ready to go. That's high energy. If you stuff and you still got something sitting in your system from the other day, 2 days ago, or last night, you're gonna be sluggish. Right. Yeah.
So we're saying a lot of high scientific terms here, and again, the focus for today is going to be sports nutrition simplified. Yeah. So I'm going to simplify it even more. Okay, so when he's saying his stack that he's using, we have essential supplements.
Yeah.
Essential supplements means it's something that your body needs for full physiological functioning to be a human being. Meaning you cannot function at your highest level as a human if you don't have these essential nutrients. Standard, okay?
Beautiful.
You have your non-essential supplementations. So omegas, omega-3s, 6s, and 9s. You can use fish oils. You can use what do you call it? Omega XL, which is going to be green lipid mussels, right? You need that. Now this is proven by science, right? All of our information is coming from Precision Nutrition. Don't get mad at us. They have years and years of that science, okay? Then we're talking about your cellular nutrition, your micronutrition, not your proteins, fats, and carbs, but what your cells have to eat. So you're feeding your cells. That's your Juice Plus, all right? That's going to be prebiotics, meaning you have good bacteria and bad bacteria. Probiotics means it's adding in good bacteria, okay? Then you have prebiotics, means you're adding in food for your good bacteria, and that's what Juice Plus is going to do. So that's why his standard Juice Plus, mine is Juice Plus. Now, if you have those green powders that are getting nice and fancy today, those would actually be prebiotics too, but the research is out on that. Juice Plus is just 35 years in the game of clinical research in the laboratory with real scientists, okay? Omega XL, 30 years plus in the game. Clinical research in the lab with human beings and showing the results. So you can actually look that up, right? So everything we're spewing out here is not just because who can have the most supplements. These are all needed. They're essential, right? So you have essential proteins that you have to have. You have essential fats that you have to have, and you have essential carbohydrates that you need for your brain function, function of your liver, function of your heart, function of your organs, your stomach, your intestines, okay? So we're gonna get into the section of, good. We're gonna get to the section of rapid fire, okay? Now, rapid fire is when I'm just gonna blurt out a question to Nick and to Dre, and we're gonna sum it up in very quickly, 1 minute for you, 1 minute for you. We're talking about if someone was to dabble in, where do I start? How would you start someone off?
Okay, so the same way Yao said that there's essential supplementation and non-essential, I think the same thing applies, I know, take that same concept and apply it to general nutrition. There's certain nutrition tips and things out there that are meant to just catch your attention, but is that foundational? So ask that, and the way you determine whether something's foundational is if it applies to you based on your body type, individualized for you. So make sure you understand what's your foundational nutrition habits made for you. You can start with your body type and make sure you know what the difference is between other nutrition tips out there that are just, advanced or special population, not necessarily made for you specifically. Start with the things that are made for you.
Nice, I like that. So individualized nutrition that's made for you. That's actually perfect. Yeah, perfect. Dre, if we're gonna give to the audience, just give me your 1 minute spiel of, okay, I wanna start sports nutrition. What do I do?
The first thing you should do is cut out all depending on where you at. Let's say if you're in bad shape. The first thing you need to do before you even think about trying to calculate and take supplements and all this stuff, first, cut out all the bad stuff, the alcohol before bed, right? Alcohol, yeah, we talking about going, yeah, wine. Wine is alcohol. Yeah. Oh, I know. Meaning like they're drinking with their, I'm not saying hardcore drinking, I'm saying wine, anything, that's sugar. Okay. Then cut out the bad foods, right? First, focus on doing that.
What is that though? What are those bad things? Because it's obvious to us.
Pizza, okay, so pizza, bread, tons of bread, right? Bread. Watch if you cook, watch how much, I don't know, whatever the seasoning and salt and all those things you put in your food.
Acidic things.
Cut that down. So if you're putting in 1, 2, 3, cut it down to 1, right?
Perfect. I love that. I love that. So cutting out the things that are gonna make you not reach your goals. So bad stuff, cut that out. And the next saying, make sure your nutrition is individualized for you. Now, what I would do for my 1 minute spiel is actually piggyback off of both of what they're saying. You need to make sure you're eating right for your body type. So the nutrition should be for you. The first thing when we talk about the 7 most basic principles to making sure that your gut health is healthy is cutting out the sugars, cutting out your pro-inflammatory foods, having a functional diagnostic test to see if you're allergic to something. You could be eating oranges and strawberries, but if you're allergic to that, it is bad for you. Making sure that you understand what your body type is so you're reaching your goal with your nutrition. Making sure you don't have toxic hunger, meaning you're emotionally eating. You're eating because you're depressed. You're eating because of COVID. You're eating because you lost a job. Those are things that you have to really focus on. So there's 7 of those principles. I only gave you 4 or 5. If you want the rest of those, tune in to our digital content coming out very soon. Eating right for your body type. Come on, wake up. All right, so now we're gonna go into our wine now. Let me see if I still have that flexibility. Okay, so this is gonna be humanize everything like Nicholas Lopez Jr. has said way back in our first episodes. Please watch everything. I know there's a lot. Have your popcorn, be with your family, and watch all of them. Comment, like, and subscribe, please. Do it because this.
Hold on, tell me, should they be eating popcorn at night? Watching TV?
If you're watching our episodes, there's someone that always interrupts us, Dre. You know who that is? That is Mr. Nicholas Lopez Jr. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to watch. Once you watch, you're going to know what to cut out. Right? If you have popcorn and you're eating, this is a cheat meal. You're allowed to cheat if you're doing what you're supposed to. If you're assessing yourself, you're eating right for your body type, you're cutting out the pro-inflammatory foods, you can have popcorn every now and again. Yes. I cheat. This will be another talk. Oh yeah. I cheated just today. I had sweet potato fries. And when I have my cheat, I usually have a burger and sweet potato fries. But you don't look like this unless you're eating right for your body type. Now, cheat meals or refeeding, as John Berardi from Precision Nutrition, the most researched sports nutrition certified program that you can be on, says you have to refeed if you're getting your goals. So, like I said, watch all the episodes, have your popcorn if that's part of your program. So we're going to get down to our wind down. Wind down is when we actually give you tidbits and nuggets that you can go home with. We don't want you to just watch what we're saying. We want you to apply it, right? The application of knowledge is there for wisdom, not just the knowledge. So, Nicholas, we're going to focus in on our wind down. Let's see what I want to focus on. Sports Nutrition Simplified is the section. We're going to go with, what do you think is the critical thing that someone can do if they wanted to change their trajectory of getting to their goals, whether it's weight loss, whether it's muscle gains, or whether it's keeping your energy and maintaining your energy throughout the day. You can only pick one. Can't be greedy and pick all three, right? If they want to change the trajectory, they're plateauing, they're not seeing their goals, they're not gaining, what do you think is the one thing that you would say is the most powerful thing to have a transformational experience, right? They want to transfer something in their body, and they want to have a great experience. What would you say to do?
Was it? I got two.
I said one. He picked
Hold on,
two.
watch this. I got two aspects. I got two things.
Okay.
One is, I think across all three, even if I want to just say somebody who wants to lose body fat, is you got to know your portion control. Okay. You got to know your portion sizing. So PN has a good use your hand as a portion guide and portion control reference. So you definitely get your portion control under. My portion control is wild. Like that. Get your portions under control. Whether you're trying to lose fat, or you're trying to gain muscle, you got to know what the appropriate portion is. So figure that out. And the second thing is you got to remember, I'm the producer, Yao's the host. So you saw how well he articulated that point on popcorn. You got more. I made him more emotional. He started flexing in the picture in the video. That's the producer right there. Okay, it's all a magic vehicle here. We got the director, we got the talent and host, and we got the producer out here. So the interruptions are actually art.
Yes, I agree. I know we couldn't let that one go. All right, Dre. Since Nick already picked two, right?
Nah, pick one.
Was that one?
Yeah, that sounded like two.
Okay, that sounded like two. Me too. Producer. All right.
Yeah.
Dre, give them one thing, trying to lose weight, trying to gain weight, or trying to maintain energy. What is one thing that you would give the audience here?
If someone comes to you and say, yo, I want to gain muscle, bro. Like what? People want to gain muscle out there. They have Men's Health magazines, or they have Dre.
Okay, so someone walks in and they don't have any muscle at all.
Right, yeah.
Right? They have potential. Yeah. You see it, right? You got to, I'm gonna go with this. You have to have your protein intake up. Okay. Your protein intake has to be at a high level. Okay. If you're trying to gain lean muscle mass, I say make sure your protein intake is definitely up there for sure. That should be the first thing you should be thinking about. Okay. I'm gonna put it that way.
I like that. That should be the first thing you're thinking. I like that. Yeah, to definitely maintain a level of muscle mass, you're gonna need protein. Protein, if you have muscle mass and you don't have protein there, then you cannot maintain it, right? So if you're skin, and I like how you said it depends on the person. So I'm an ectomorph, I'm slim. So for me to gain muscle, I have to have carbohydrates. He's a mesomorph, he has lots of muscle. If he wants to maintain his muscle, he has to have protein. He's a mixture. He's endomeso. So he's gonna make sure his fat intake needs to be at a good ratio. His protein is a good ratio. His carbohydrates is a good ratio. So what I want to leave you with here All right. First, comment, like, subscribe. The reason why I say this all the time is because we want to understand where you guys are. We want to meet you where you are, and we want you to come into our community and tell us where we want to go, right? So you guys are the actual drivers, right? We're giving you this information that we believe is vital to you, hence the word or the words Vitality Handbook, and we're just teaching you those top secrets. But remember, it's all about eating right for your body type, and we're more focusing about sports nutrition simplified. If you do not understand what your body type is, slim, muscle, mixture, right? Then you can't reach your goal. If you don't understand if you have good gut health, meaning your microbiome, what's inside, feed yourself from the inside, then you're not going to reach your goal. And then lastly, if you're going to have nutrition that's from a sports angle, it's about performance and recovery. If you can't recover from what you did, then you can't perform that next day. So really, really, really simple. Again, Yao A. Wilson Jr., Nicholas Lopez Jr., Andre Bibbs Jr., thank you for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, let's get into it.